would like to call to order the August 14th, 2025 Planning and Zoning Board meeting and ask the city clerk to call roll so we can establish a quorum.
Chair Fitzgerald,
Here.
Vice Chair Robarts,
Here.
Board Member Hayes, Board Member Edmondson, Board Member Clements, Board Member Grant,
Here.
Board Member Cardenas.
Here.
Chair, we have a quorum.
Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're going to, I need approval for the agenda. Are there any additions, deletions, or modifications to the agenda? If none, can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Motion passes. Approval of minutes of the October 9th, 2025 meeting. Are there any changes to the October 2025 minutes? If not, can I have a motion to adopt the minutes?
I'll make a motion to
Okay.
minutes as read.
I have a motion by Clements and second by Edmondson.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Ms. Fitzgerald, can you make sure your mic is on?
Yes, it is. Oh, at least it says on. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Do I have to repeat all that?
No, you're good.
Okay. Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, we were all, motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay. Now for our public hearing items. Walmart Supercenter, 6294 Forest Hill Boulevard. A request for a major site and development plan amendment to expand the existing 116,978 square foot by 3,370 square feet for expanded online pickup delivery operations. The project includes a request for approval of a master sign plan. Presentation by staff.
Madam Chair, at this time, the applicant will be presenting. Staff will present following.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. For the record, Wesley Hevia, LSN Law, offices at 3800 Northeast First Avenue, Miami, Florida, also offices in Broward and Palm Beach County. Here on behalf of Walmart, I'm joined by Bill Pfeffer of Bowman, who is Walmart's civil and traffic engineers, and we're pleased to present this application before you tonight. This is in connection with Walmart's property located at its existing sales center store located at 6294 Forest Hills Boulevard, which is abutting Forest Hills Boulevard to the north and about 600 feet east of North Jog Road. Before we jump into the technical requests to this application, we wanted to just take a step back and explain the wider context of what Walmart's trying to do here. So Walmart's in the process of reinvesting in stores throughout Florida, and this store is very high on the list. It was entitled in the late 80s, early 90s, and it's due for some enhancements, some reinvestments, some modernization. So this particular store is slated to get the full menu of reinvestments. What you'll see before you is really things that are occurring on the outside portion of the store that affect the site plan, but we wanted to mention that on the interior there will be full renovations as well. You won't see any of that because it doesn't trigger a site plan amendment, but this store is really getting a lot of love, and what you see is just a piece of that. In terms of the team here, again, land use attorneys, civil and traffic engineers, and then there's others who are not present tonight, architects and landscape architects. But we'll be able to, between Bill and I think, address really any technical questions that may come up, and then of course your staff as well. Again, the location, roughly 13-acre site, roughly 120,000 square foot, or give or take, existing Walmart store, abutting Forest Hill Road. The zoning is and remains commercial, so it's appropriate for this type of development, and really everything we're proposing is consistent with the zoning. And jumping into the technical requests, so the two main components of what's before you tonight are online pickup enhancements and electric vehicle charging spaces. And so starting from the online pickup enhancements, many of you may already be familiar with the concept. It gained significant popularity, especially during COVID. But Walmart, among other large retailers, has, and at this store there are presently several spaces already, but spaces that are reserved for Walmart customers who have ordered their products online prior to arriving at a particular store. The Walmart associates then bring their pre-ordered products directly to the vehicle for retrieval. And again, it's proven popular all across the United States, and especially in Florida, again, especially after COVID, as it blends the efficiency of online retail with the convenience of brick and mortar shopping. It's a great option for folks who have kids or don't want to enter the store, people with accessibility issues, and really anyone who wants to order ahead and perhaps save some time. So currently, there are 12 online pickup spaces at this store. And the proposal, based on Walmart's internal data and analytics, is to go to 33. And with that increase, also Walmart is proposing a building expansion, and we'll show you exactly where it is and what it looks like, tucked away on the southwest corner of the building, which is all back of house, right? So it's just for staging of the products, a place for the associates to come in and out of, and it's not, that new space is not intended to be accessed as general retail sales floor. It's purely related to the online pickup operation. So that's the first major component of what's before you, the site plan amendment to expand the building and then reconfigure some of the parking spaces to add additional online spaces. The second major component of what's before you is electric vehicle charging stations. Right now there are 0 spaces at this Walmart, and we're proposing to add 8 spaces. So this is part of a nationwide initiative by Walmart to add some number of EV spaces, basically wherever feasible. In Florida, it's especially beneficial because there's such a large network of stores, and Walmart is exceptionally well positioned to contribute to improving that infrastructure throughout the state. It's very convenient for people to drive in and have another charging option, and so. It's also worth noting that Florida law actually prevents local governments now from mandating EV charging stations as part of land development applications. So this is a voluntary, what we consider a public benefit that Walmart is proposing here throughout the state and really throughout the nation. And then there are miscellaneous. There's a signage plan that's associated with your package, which basically relates to internal navigation within the parking lot, and some signage on the storefront as well. Really wayfinding, so here's where you go to your online pickup, here's where you go to EV, and so forth. And then related pedestrian and wayfinding signage, striping, a new sidewalk by the enhanced pickup area, some restriping, etc. So what you're seeing on the left side of your screen is the signage plan, and on the right side, you can see on the right image on the lower left-hand corner is that just about 3,500, 3,600 square foot building expansion for the OPD, online pickup operation, and then you can see sort of hashed in that general area all the proposed online pickup spaces. So again, tucked away from the main entrance, away from high pedestrian activity areas, tucked in nicely to really best practices. This site is great from our perspective. It's really easy to accommodate operationally this enhancement. And then sort of on the right image, north center. So north center slightly to the west You'll see some white spaces. That's where the existing regular parking spaces are being converted to EV charging spaces. And that's, you'll see some other shading in your site plan, showing some of the other miscellaneous enhancements I referenced. But in terms of site plan amendments, those are the two main project areas and what Walmart is proposing to do here. Again, a close-up of that OPD expansion, the building expansion, and the online pickup spaces, again, on your screen, existing versus proposed. And then similarly, the EV existing versus proposed, so conversion of spaces to get that result. It should be noted, although not before you today, that the proposed enhancements do result in a slight decrease in the total number of spaces. Some spaces are lost as a result of the conversion to OPD and EV, and additional parking is triggered by the building expansion. However, this reduction is under the code, is able to be considered an administrative approval. So although it's not before you today, we did want to mention that that is occurring. It's also in the staff report. We work closely with staff on this. There are associated parking and studies that were prepared by Bowman. And so with the approval of the site plan, this will also be deemed approved as a consequence. Although it's not technically before you today, we wanted to mention. Here is the same thing, just that we previously discussed, just more zoomed out. And then a couple of renderings of just various portions of the exterior, just to get a sense of what's changing also on the exterior of the main building. I should mention that we've also reached out to all of our abutting neighbors. We've obtained letters of support. Everybody is comfortable and excited with this, as are we. And I think the main takeaway here from our perspective is Walmart is ready and able and excited for the opportunity to heavily reinvest in the store, follow best practices, bring it up to today's standards in terms of the OPD, the EV, and then of course the interior renovation, which is not before you, but is something that Walmart is committed to doing at the store as well. So with that, we'd respectfully request your favorable recommendation of approval, and we'll turn it over to staff, but after that, we're available to answer any questions you may have. Yes, ma'am.
I know that Walmart is open 24/7. Will the pickup, the online pickup be available 24 hours also?
Bill, do you know the operational intent here? We can find that out for you.
So,
I would say typically we do cease operations at a certain hour. Largely, I believe due to just lack of demand after a certain time of day, but we can see if we can get you a complete answer on that.
Okay, just curious.
As part of their current approval, they're allowed to be open 24/7.
Yeah.
I believe since COVID, as part of the application, they haven't been using that, but they are allowed to be open 24/7. I believe currently they close at 11 p.m.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to ask another question, if it's possible.
Yes, sir.
What is the target date for the commencing completion?
I will defer to the civil engineers on that. Do we have a target date of completion, Bill?
Good afternoon. Bill Pfeffer with Bowman Consulting. The target completion obviously will be sometime in 2026, but they're looking to get started as quickly as we can get permits. So there's no hold in terms of getting an approval and waiting. We're going to move as fast as we can. So our goal is to be operational by summer of 2026, if not earlier.
Thank you.
Can I know you weren't talking about the interior, but I'm guessing that the Walmart on South Military has been redone because it's very modern in there. Does that involve a lot of closing down of sections when you're doing that, or is it something that's done at night?
Yeah, so there is some disruption to the operation, but obviously Walmart's very sensitive to that. So they have a whole phasing plan that they do where they're working off hours and they're sectioning off the store to get stuff done, and they're prefabricating shelves and everything that they can to be able to minimize the impact to the customer, because nobody wants that less than Walmart.
Thank you.
I have one statement or I know you have Walmart's ear, obviously, inside. This is just something a little off, but you don't accept, they don't accept Apple Pay. Talk to somebody, just put it in there, accept Apple Pay inside the Walmart.
And I mean, all of our retail clients are obviously constantly looking to adapt. I haven't heard anything from Walmart, but I'm sure it's only a matter of time. But if we talk to somebody from operations, I'll inquire.
I appreciate it.
Board Member Grant, I'll say I had the same experience, I had the same experience with Home Depot once, and I asked the same question, so we'll figure it out.
Home Depot stepped up. They accept it now, so. Thank you very much.
Any further questions from the board? Okay. I have to open a public hearing. There is no member of the public here, so I open the public hearing.
Excuse me,
Public
Chair.
hearing.
We have staff's presentation as well.
Pardon?
We have staff's presentation.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, good evening, board members. For the record, my name is Millie Rivera, planner with the Development and Neighborhood Services Department. As mentioned during the applicant's presentation, the request before you this evening includes a major site and development plan amendment, SP 8806AA, along with the approval for a master sign plan, MSP 25-01. The proposed amendment, as noted, includes a building expansion and addition of electric vehicle charging spaces. The addition of EV charging spaces supports the city's long-term sustainability and mobility objectives. For the board's awareness, as mentioned, an administrative variance identified as BA 2403 was processed to allow for a maximum 10% reduction, resulting in a total of 59 spaces, and required parking spaces where the code requires 602. Based on the findings, staff had no objection to the parking variance, and the notice of intent to approve was mailed on October 29, 2025. The administrative variance request will be deemed approved upon approval of the Major Site and Development Plan Amendment, SP 8806AA. From an urban design perspective, the building expansion has been designed to integrate seamlessly with the existing architecture. The plan also enhances pedestrian safety and connectivity by incorporating new paver crosswalks. The updated landscape plan meets code minimums while enhancing the visual quality of the property by softening the parking areas with additional plantings. Lastly, the proposed master sign plan complies with the city code and establishes a coordinated sign package for the site. Based on staff's findings and analysis, the request is consistent with the standards for review of Code Section 16-199 and the overall intent of the city's Code of Ordinances. Staff recommends approval with conditions as outlined in the staff report provided. This concludes staff's presentation, and I am open for any questions you guys may have.
Questions from the board?
All right, so you approve of the parking spaces being limited or going down, correct?
Yes, so the code allows for a maximum reduction of 10%, and they're at 9% with the 59 spaces.
Okay.
Any further questions?
I got another question. This is to Walmart. I had heard previously that they used to allow like campers and things like that to park in the overnight in the parking lot. Is that still true, or that's not true?
Well, beyond that, the code doesn't allow them to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that would supersede if they said it was okay.
So if that was a business practice that they were okay with, our code doesn't allow that to
Okay.
turn into, technically that would be storage based on the language of our code.
Even overnight?
Correct. So the overnight parking of the vehicles, if they're not technically patrons of that
Right.
business, that would be prohibited.
Okay. Thank you.
Further questions, anything? Okay. So, At this point, I can open and close a public hearing. I open public hearing and close a public hearing. And so if there's no further discussion, we need to vote. I need a motion on this.
I'll make a motion to approve the Walmart Supercenter 6294 Forest Hill Boulevard, SP-88-06 AA and MSP 25-01.
I'll second.
Go ahead.
No, why not?
Okay. Motion seconded by,
Either one. Doesn't matter.
did you get that? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It passes.
I have a question.
Yes.
It says down here, note there is an administrative variance request, BA 2403. Are we supposed to include that and just forget it? Ignore it? Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, board. Thank you, Steph.
Thank you.
You know, can I just say one more thing to the Walmart people? When they did some revision of the small Walmart on the corner of Lake Worth and Jog for the same purpose, there was very little disruption, and I know it's a much smaller store. Things were relocated, but Walmart really did a good job, so.
I'll take all the credit. Thank
Yeah.
Why not?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next, we have ZTA 25-06, reasonable accommodations, a city-initiated request for a zoning text amendment to establish procedures for processing requests for reasonable accommodation in accordance with state law, to update all references from Code Enforcement Division to Code Compliance Division, and to provide for other corrections throughout the code for consistency.
Good evening, board members. Linda Louis, zoning administrator for the record. So this is zoning text amendment, case number ZTA 2506. It's a mandatory text amendment to Chapter 16 of the Code of Ordinances, which are the city's zoning regulations, to establish procedures for processing requests for reasonable accommodation in accordance with state law. So just to provide a quick overview, earlier this year, the state amended the Florida statutes to require all counties and municipalities to adopt an ordinance establishing a process and procedures in the request for reasonable accommodations, including certified recovery residences. So per the state statute, the ordinance must be adopted by January 1st of next year. The process requirements which are provided in the statutes requires the ordinance to adopt language to include the establishment of timeframes for the review and approval process of the application, and that includes a 30-day timeframe for the city to review the applications, a 60-day timeframe to issue a final written determination once the application is deemed complete. It also sets a deemed approval provision if no timely decision is issued, and it also sets limits on public hearings beyond the minimum necessary required to grant accommodations. So the process must also be consistent with the Florida Fair Housing Amendment Act and the Americans with Disabilities Act to ensure equal housing for persons with disabilities. So the proposed amendment is consistent with the requirements of the state as well as all federal requirements for reasonable accommodations. So in a nutshell, the proposed text amendment is required by the state for consistency with the changes to the state legislature this year. The application has been reviewed for consistency with the criteria in section 16154B of the Code of Ordinances, which is also the criteria for zoning text amendments. And based on staff's findings and analysis, staff is recommending approval of the zoning text amendment. And that concludes staff's presentation. If there are any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Okay, seeing no questions. Ready? Okay. I open the board public hearing and close for public hearing. So I need a motion to vote. Vote.
No public.
Right, there's no public.
Yeah.
I move that we vote on or approve the ZTA-2506 reasonable accommodations.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Good job.
Are there further discussion items? Hearing none, I will say the next PZB meeting dates are December 11th, 2025, and January 8th, 2026.
And then from staff, I know right before the meeting, we discussed the planning officials workshop. I have 4 of you down, just making sure. So I have Aldo, Emily, Danette, and Joan down to go to the planning officials workshop. Just confirming that was the 4 of them. Evelyn will be in touch with you all. She is registering. The deadline's tomorrow. So she'll be in touch, and then also talk about the carpool.
Okay, that was January 8th.
Yes, January 8th and December 11th.
Okay.
Okay, and so with no more questions, I'm adjourning this meeting.
Thank you.
Very good.